Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, and this is something I don't do very often these days. But for those of you who do like these videos, remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Help keep the likes higher than the dislikes. Now, I don't watch YouTube fitness anymore. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't. Unless at least 5 people tell me, hey, I want you to watch this video or cover this topic, I'm not going to bother. And even then, it needs to be worth my time. And there's 2 reasons why I don't do it. Number one, I don't care. Number two, I really just don't care. So I don't have time and I don't have the interest to watch other fitness YouTubers. None of them know anything that they can teach me at this point. Uh, Other than guys I already talked to in private. Okay, if you coach 5 world record holders, I'm going to listen, but I probably already got you on my friends list if you do that. So it's largely irrelevant. They have nothing to teach me. So why would I waste my time? But over to the point. Alex over at Alpha Destiny, who he and I've had beef in the past. And you know what? I said recently, since he started training the way he's training and adding squatting and deadlifting in, I will be surprised if he doesn't hit some big numbers eventually. Right? I've already said that. It's probably going to happen. Now, he came in and he pulled pretty good deadlift, 565 sumo. I looked at that lift. That's meat legal. Okay. I said before, even without the straps, like his old deadlifts, he tried to pass off. They would not pass. They were red lights. His 585 with straps, even without the straps, would have been a red light. That is not a completed lift. It was failure to lock. He couldn't lock it at the top. But we come over to this sumo. Guy has been training a lot better. All right, I said recently, you know what? I have no beef with anything he's teaching with the training. His training and what he is promoting looks very solid. We have very similar training philosophies. Now, rather than harp on a guy who I used to have fighting with, I'm going to be gracious. I'm going to be humble and say, Alex, well done. As far as from a competitive perspective, when we calculate Wilks, I believe, people can double check my math, but I believe he just beat me by 2 points on deadlift Wilks. Okay. That means in terms of relative strength as we measure it in strength sports, he is a slightly better deadlifter than me. Now, I just had to eat some humble pie when I said that. That wasn't easy to say. But when the way that we judge relative strength, and I don't care how anybody outside of strength sports measures it, nobody uses body weight multipliers, that's moronic. Body weight multipliers are moronic, and if that's what you use, you're probably an idiot. So, let's come over to Wilks. And Wilks accounts for your body weight, and it accounts for your age. I just set a deadlift PR this last week. He comes in and hits a PR behind me. My age-adjusted Wilks, I believe, is about 175, okay, for my 615 deadlift. His 565 is a 177. People can run through and recheck the math themselves. And people who say silly stuff like, well, you shouldn't count age, well, then you shouldn't count body weight because they're both part of the formula. Okay? If you don't believe that age classes are supposed to give bonus points, then I don't think you should give bonus points to people who weigh less. 150-pound guy needs to deadlift as much as a 300-pound guy then. If we're not going to judge the relative standard, because that's how they're measured in strength sports. But in all fairness, when you add it all up, he just inched me out. And I have nothing but respect for that. Okay? Nothing but respect for that. The guy came in, changed his training method, started actually deadlifting more, doing a lot of speed pulls, all this other stuff, deficit pulls. Supposedly he's going to be adding squats in, and he just inched me out on relative strength. He just inched me out. So if we were to go to a meet and do a cross-class comparison, he'd beat me on deadlift. Now, before too many people jump up and say, well, Jason, does that mean he's a better power lifter than you? No, I'd beat him in a full meet. Like, I would win when we add in squats. I'm pretty sure that my squat Wilks is going to basically crush any advantage he has on the deadlift or the bench by a pretty large margin. But we haven't seen him squat yet. I don't know. He might come in and hit a 500 squat. Okay? He might hit a 500 squat. Who knows? I could be wrong. And in which case, when he does that, if he does that, I might have to step and say, okay, he beat me in comp. And you know, that's part of being a good sportsman, guys. All right, that's sportsmanship. When someone else does better than you and they put in the work and they do slightly better than you, that's a victory. And you have to acknowledge that, right? You can't have sour grapes about it. You can't be a whiny little bitch about it. You got to just say, well done. In the case of the deadlift, on the Wilks, he's got me inched out. I'm going to have to get my deadlift up now. Maybe we could have a race. Another thing, you know, I've seen some people say, well, you know, he did sumo. Sumo counts under current powerlifting rules. Sumo counts. And he didn't use straps. So let's take this and spin this in a more positive direction. Let's talk about conjugate training. Okay, I've hit a bunch of PRs doing conjugate training these days. I've promoted conjugate type training and said, look, this really, really works. We've seen Alex come in. And by the way, guys, again, this is going to happen every single one of these videos these days. I only do these at 4:30 in the morning, and there will still always be noise outside in my city. There's literally no time of day where I can do these and not have that, so I apologize. It is 4:30 right now, a.m. That stuff wakes everybody up, but you know, what are you going to do? Let's come over and talk about conjugate training. I've been saying it works. I've come back around to it. I used it many years ago, had my doubts. I've come back around to it. It works. I have set PR after PR after PR. I've recompositioned because I stayed at the same body weight. People have said, yeah, you are a bit leaner and bigger, okay? In my 40s. Alex has come around to the similar training methodologies, similar training philosophy. What just happened? Walks in, deadlifts 565, no straps. So what I would say to people who are standing out here saying, well, I don't think this system of training works, you might want to reevaluate that thought, because you guys have watched me hit all-time PRs. Not all-time, lifetime, but since I've been on YouTube, I haven't hit lifts this big on some of these lifts since I was in my 20s. I'm 43 now. You guys are watching me squat mid 500s. I'm going to get that up to 6. Watching me pull 615. I'll get that to 650 this year. You're seeing Alex come over, who has never, to my knowledge, hit on any sort of remotely legal deadlift anything over 500 pounds. Okay? When we're talking real deadlifts, guys, a conventional or a sumo deadlift without straps from the floor, he has never hit anything over 500 pounds that I have seen a single shred of evidence of. He's using this system, walks in and pulls 565. Same thing, he's used this system to get his bench up. Guy's benching way up towards high 300s. While weighing 170, using this system of training. We have 2 YouTubers here in my tier, the silver play tier, fitness YouTubers, at this point, who you guys have literally watched hit PR after PR using this basic training philosophy and system. If you really think it doesn't work, you have lost the freaking plot. So that is where I'm going to spin this in the most positive way. You guys are watching 2 people now at this level in YouTube who are using this system and getting stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point to where people are noticing and going, oh man, yeah, both these guys are getting strong in their own rights. Now, obviously, we don't know what his squat is, and I'm not particularly great at the bench press these days. So at least 2 out of our 3 lifts, though, we've seen enormous strides. So you can't even say in my case, well, it only works for the squat and the deadlift, just like you wouldn't look at his case and say it only works for the bench and the deadlift, because we're both hitting massive PRs on 2 out of our 3 classic lifts doing this. The system works. There's a reason guys like Louis Simmons have 80 world record holders come out of his gym. There's a reason Joe DeFranco trains his NFL and MMA guys off of this system and gets guys into the NFL. And has been doing it for a decade, by the way. He's been using this system to take guys through the combine and get them NFL contracts for over a decade. There are MMA fighters using this system. Alex Viada runs his hybrid athletes on a variation of this system. It works. And for those of you who just watch YouTube, if YouTube is your main source of fitness information, watch both of us. Compared to most of the other fitness YouTubers, we're a lot stronger. Okay? 2 different guys, 2 different weights, 2 different age classes. We're using this system and we're passing everybody else in YouTube fitness in terms of overall strength and power. It's not a coincidence. It's this training system. It's this style of training. It absolutely works. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.